The jackal is an animal that is selfish and very concerned with itself. It doesn't really care about other animals at all. Jackal communication is all about you, the individual, making sure you get what you want, regardless of anyone else. Jackal communication crushes people in its path, hurts feelings, leaves significant damage to the relationship. And jackal communication isn't about building healthy relationships. It's really about an individual getting what they want. So what does jackal language sound like? Here are some examples. Why did you do that? You're such a jerk. My friend is all about herself. I can't believe the president did that. How shameful. Jackal language is everywhere. Our culture has been conditioning us to use jackal language forever. It's simply what we know and use. It's no one's fault. It's just what is. Jackal language is embedded in our culture. Think about movie reviews or critiques, full of jackal language. Restaurant reviews, full of jackal language. News is about who's to blame, who's responsible. All of these examples are about judging others, which is what jackal language is. Where do we see jackal language in our schools? The answer is everywhere. We evaluate kids as teachers. That's what we're trained to do. Principals evaluate teachers, judging them, telling them what they're doing right and wrong. And parents evaluate teachers, even informally, telling them what they should or should not be doing. The good news is there's a better way. We can learn to communicate in a kinder, gentler way that helps people feel better about themselves and each other. What is giraffe language? Why the giraffe as metaphor? The giraffe has the largest heart of any land animal, so giraffe language is kind. It has a unique perspective because of its body and its height. It can see multiple perspectives. And giraffe language is effective because it's direct, honest, and kind. The type of communication we ideally want to use is described as giraffe. That's why this new language is based on the giraffe. You're going to learn how to see multiple perspectives when you communicate. And this will help you be even more effective and get your needs met, making you and those around you feel better. Giraffe language is honest, direct, and caring. And giraffe language gives you the tools to de-stress, saying what you actually want to say in a way that calms the situation and doesn't exacerbate it. Here are some examples of giraffe language. I see that you closed the door quietly. I'm so grateful you did that because then we didn't bother the neighbors. You are saying what you observe and how you feel. You are not blaming or complaining, and you're not using jackal language. Here's another example. I'm so relaxed because we finished our lesson prep for next week early. You're saying what you feel and why. You're not criticizing or being sarcastic. You're not using jackal language. And finally, here's another example. I noticed that you put your backpack away when you came inside. That makes me feel happy because it shows you are taking care of your materials. You are simply saying what you observed and how you feel about what you observed. There's no jackal judgment. As a review, you now know that there are two different ways to communicate, giraffe or jackal. By being aware of giraffe and jackal communication, you can choose how you want to communicate. You can choose to either be a giraffe or you can choose to be a jackal. This module gives you the opportunity to look at a new way of communicating, giraffe language, that you can choose to use. By choosing giraffe language, you can take a step back and clearly identify why you communicate, what you communicate, and how you want to communicate. Jackal language elicits feelings of power over, frustration, and anger. When people use it, the recipient does not usually feel great unless the judgment made is positive, and we'll talk more about that later. Giraffe language is a type of language that we can aspire to use. It promotes people taking responsibility for their feelings. So moving forward, practice. In your workbook, you will have the opportunity to think more about giraffe and jackal language. You can reflect on when you hear giraffe and when you hear jackal. In the next video, we'll talk about the 4-part communication framework, a tool that will guide you in using giraffe language on a regular basis.